while I'm out here. Now we can chat. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. And to all of my old subscribers, welcome back. With the year coming to an end, I've been thinking back on my gardening year and pretty much just the overview of the homestead for 2022. And of course, I like to reflect, to improve, see what we could have done better and what we definitely shouldn't repeat in 2023. I didn't write anything down. I've been thinking about it for like the last probably 2-3 weeks. Just as I walk through the garden and I walk around, I'm just analyzing and seeing like, wow, I could have done that better, or I should have done this in this area. So I'm just gonna run through some of the things off the top of my head. The number one thing that has caused me the most headaches in 2022 has to have been not having the correct and appropriate shelters for our animals and our livestock. So we lost like 15 chickens and a cow this year because we don't have correct shelter for some of our animals. We had a baby calf and we had her in this back area with the horses, with the cattle panel going all the way around. She ended up jumping over the cattle panel, which sits probably about 4 feet high, maybe. She cleared the fence. I saw her. She just jumps over and escapes. I never knew cows could jump, but I guess that whole cows jumping over the moon thing is true, because she cleared it like a deer, and she's been gone ever since because we didn't have the correct gate to keep her inside of our property. The other animals that we lost were chickens. They would just get out. They would escape the coop because I didn't have the door secured good enough, and they would get out and roam like they want to, which is fine because I have free range chickens, but our free range chickens are used to being out in the wild. The chickens that were in the coop, they're not used to it, so they weren't really aware of their surroundings. So our dog got some of them, and probably coyotes and chicken hawks got the others. On top of the cow and the chickens, the dogs running into the street, chasing cars, chasing people that are walking down. A lot of professional bikers come down our street and they would chase the bikers, and it was just really embarrassing that we had these out of control dogs pretty much that were making everybody's life hell because we couldn't contain them. Our fence line is up. So I had to kind of rush and build. There's Cosmo. She's not really a troublemaker. She likes to hang around with me, but her sister Salem and our Great Dane Papa, they're crazy. So I had to kind of rush to build a chicken run in a doghouse, which is still kind of under construction. I'm the main builder here. My husband doesn't build, my mom doesn't build, and my kids, I'm teaching them now because I need some extra hands around here. So all the building projects are really under my watch. So I was able to squeeze the chicken run and the doghouse in. The next big thing, after locking them in so that they're not running around in the street and they're not killing our chickens, is building the horses their outdoor stalls. While getting ready for the freeze, we were kind of scrambling, trying to figure out how we can at least provide some wind protection from them, because we do have the new baby colt, or filly, my bad. She is a white beauty, and I like to call her Milkshake. So we were kind of worried about the winds getting to them because the wind chill was supposed to be like below 0. So I scrambled trying to get like a tarp shelter up. That didn't work because the wind gusts were too strong. So that's been giving me a headache because I'm just worried about them. She's a baby and her winter coat is in. She's 9 months old now, so I don't even know if she's still technically considered a baby. But her winter coat is in, her mom's winter coat is in, and Lil Daddy's winter coat is in. So they're all really thick right now. But I was still just worried about them. So the tarp shelter didn't work, like I said, because of the winds. So it's just a headache, like not having their outdoor stalls ready, not having the dog run ready to keep the animals contained. It's just a big headache. So I really recommend if you guys are starting off and you have big dreams like I do, and you want to move fast like I do, I really, really want to push you guys to think about getting your fence line up, containing your animals, making sure that they'll be safe, and getting their shelters together. Because the last thing that you are going to want to do is scramble and not be able to make the projects to your liking. Because you know, when you have to rush to do something, it doesn't really come out how you really wanted it to or envisioned it to, and you're investing money into it. So the best thing to do is just plan it out. When you get your animals, before you get your animals, plan it out, plan it out, plan it out. The second thing that I would have done differently in 2022 would have been to just start the expansion projects ASAP. And by start, I mean at least getting it going. Like, if you have a vision of expanding your garden 20 more feet, lay down the sheet mulch or whatever you use for your weed blocking, for killing out grass. You could do tarps, you could do sheet mulching. Some people do landscape fabric. I don't recommend landscape fabric, but to each its own. Map those places out. Cardboard is free, so even if you don't have the money to invest into buying your compost and your topsoil or your mulch or whatever you're gonna use, at least put the free cardboard down for the meantime, so you can start killing the grass and building those microorganisms below that cardboard, so that when you do have the money to invest in the compost and actually planting in that area, you'll already be one step ahead of the game. So I have probably 100 feet of expansion going on, and it's a perfect time right now because it's winter time, but I do wish that I would have started a little bit earlier so that I would be farther ahead by this point. We're already in late December, so that leaves me like 3 months to get all the expanded areas together. And if I would have already had it mapped out and planned, I wouldn't be having to map it out and plan it and get it all done in 3 months. I do want to take a minute out of this video to thank one of my subscribers who has stuck with me for a long, long time now and is always sending me beautiful, encouraging comments that, when I receive them, really put a smile on my face. And I believe the YouTube channel's name is God's Construction or Under God's Construction. One of the two. You know who you are. I just want to thank you and let you know that you're a beautiful soul, and I really appreciate you being such an amazing supporter of the channel. On a positive note, if I would have known that buying mulch by the truckload was so much cheaper than buying it by the bag, I would have started this a long time ago. I found a place in a local city that sells hardwood mulch that's been breaking down over a long period of time, which is really good for just adding on top of a lot of the flower beds or adding on to new areas that I'm expanding on. There they go. This is Cosmo. She's my favorite. She loves me so much. This is her sister Salem, and these were rescues. We found them in the woods, but these were the terrible dogs chasing people down the street. And I don't care how cute they are, it's annoying. They actually just brought this back. I don't know what the heck this is. What do y'all think this is? It still has teeth, so it's not old. They were gnawing on it, so I want to keep this for my Cosmo. No, I want to keep this for my altar because whatever animal this is, I want to pay respects to it. So I'm going to keep this away from the dogs. Another thing that I won't be doing in 2023 is impulse buying. I bought a lot of seeds and a lot of plants that died and just were a complete waste of money because I didn't really put a lot of thought behind it. It was very impulsive of me to buy a lot of plants to try to fill certain areas, and I didn't really have the time to dedicate to those areas at that time in the year. I'm going to be thinking very carefully about what I do this year financially, just because times are changing and plants are ridiculously high now. And I don't want to be wasting a lot of money. So everything that I'm going to be doing in 2023 is going to be very intentional, and I'm going to have reasons for buying every little thing that I do buy. I'm not going to say that I won't just, you know, once in a while buy something just because I want to buy it. But I'm just going to be putting a lot more thought into the things that I do purchase. I love making homemade fertilizers and using what we have on the land to feed most of our plants. This year, or this coming year, 2023, I want to incorporate a system of making those homemade fertilizers. Rather than just making them whenever my plants need it, I want to have like a designated area for making the chicken poop fertilizer and making the banana leaf fertilizer and composting some of my wood chips. I want to have that area laid out so that it's more organized and more efficient, and I'll have more of it at hand at one point in time. I don't really think homemade fertilizers get the gratitude that they deserve, but we can literally feed all of our plants with what we have at hand. There's really no reason that you should go to the store to buy fertilizers. From weeds, invasive weeds that grow on your property, waste, fruit waste that come from your kitchen that you guys eat every single week, leaves that come off of the trees in your area. There are so many different fertilizers that you can make. Sail up! There are so many different fertilizers that you guys can make that there should not be a reason why you go to the store for a fertilizer. I'm really big on regenerative, organic farming, and yeah, that doesn't call me to go to the store for anything. And I think that if regenerative farming was broken down into a more simple way, I think a lot of us would be on board with it too, because it sounds so fancy, but it really just means to work with nature and not against it. It's really, really simple. Anything synthetic or over the counter, don't put in your garden. Use what you have. Use the nature around you. This ash from the fire, the clay topsoil that you have, all of this can be incorporated into your garden to build the fertility of the soil. But I just don't think that it's broken down in a cool enough way for the masses to really take a hold of it. This one is really, really simple, but every time I walk past it in the big box stores, I just think in my head every time, damn, why don't I have those? And that's those steel trash cans to hold your livestock feed. Instead of picking up the bag and pouring it, 50-pound bag, which is pretty damn heavy when it's in this like lopsided, weak bag, to pick up a bag and have to pour it in the feed buckets, or to get the quarter scoop and, you know, the big steel scoop, to have to keep scooping to feed all your animals, it's a little annoying. Yeah, it's just not fun to have to do all that. So one thing that I will be doing soon is purchasing those steel, I think they're like 30 gallons with the aluminum lid, just to keep all the animals' feed in, so that I can just pour the bag in the trash can, scoop, and be done. I won't have to be worrying about any of these bags, falling feed going everywhere, the chickens chasing me because they hear the bag moving around. So steel trash cans, I'm telling you, that's a good one. I don't want the video to be so long, so I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm gonna do a part 2. I have some things I need to do before it starts getting dark. So look forward to a part 2 of this video soon. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, keep loving life, keep growing your own food, and grand rising to all.